Hey guys, recording this right after finishing recording the episode. I made kind of a pretty big mistake during recording and mixed up the audio tracks. So I can't separate them, and so I can't do a timer-based version. So what I'm going to do is it'll just be the discussion on YouTube, and then there will be links in the description to the picture-in-picture sections. I can't put the timer-based section thing in on YouTube because it's got all the audio in it, including the OP&ED and like all of the songs and all of the voice acting and stuff. So this is entirely my bad. I will take great pains to make sure that this doesn't happen again. This happened because I didn't change the settings back after the stream yesterday for Jojo's manga. But anyway, enjoyed the video. It is the discussion on YouTube. There'll be a little thing, and I'll put timestamps, and I'll make it as easy as possible for you to get what you want to get. But the links in the description to the picture-in-picture version on BitChute and Mega are just the picture-in-picture portion, and then it'll be just the discussion on YouTube. So apologies again. I'll let me take it away. Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo, and I am here for Kaguya-Sama Love is War, episode 11. Last time on Kaguya-Sama, we had some arguments about the whole did Shirogane do stuff to Kaguya while in her bed thing, which kind of got resolved, but maybe we'll see if that rears its ugly head again. I don't know. We had a lot of pretty bad romantic advice given out by people who don't know what they're talking about, which was pretty funny. And we had a bit of an argument over whether they would go on a summer trip of some kind as a group, and they seem to have decided yes. So they're going to a festival, which should mean, expectation-wise, cute girls in yukatas, uh, uh, maybe some arcadey typey gamey thingies, maybe some interesting competition around those games, and probably hanabi, some fireworks. So we'll see, but that's kind of what I'm expecting. I'm expecting we focus on the summer journey thing. I think somebody in the comments somewhere mentioned that these last couple of episodes will probably be a somewhat contiguous arc. I don't know how true that is, but cool. If it is, then that's really neat. So let's get into the episode. Wow, this was a very different episode. So let's start with this last section, the after credits, and then we'll move back from there. This is a bit of an emotional blindside, a bit out of not out of left field in like a it should be unexpected way, but I didn't expect it, and I probably should have because we've been building up Kaguya's relationship with her family and her sort of restricted way of being for a while. And it would be pretty easy to dismiss that as just like the root of jokes, right? She's the rich girl archetype and therefore has not done a bunch of the things that normal kids would do. So stuff like her analog nature and not being into the internet, or all of the places she hasn't been. But here we get it laid out really clearly that she feels trapped and restricted by her familial responsibilities, but she's okay with that, or she's convinced herself that she's okay with that. I want to think that she's that what's happened is she's just been used to it for so long that it is the status quo, it's the norm for her, and she hasn't experienced anything outside of it, so she doesn't have that desire to have something outside of it. She doesn't have that desire to foster a better relationship with her father because she's never had it, she's never experienced it. She doesn't know what it would be like, and so she can't want it. But it's sad. That's a really sorrowful couple minutes of episode there that really flesh out Kaguya's character quite a bit, and works as a really good emotional setup for this fireworks display because they can do any number of things with it, but having her come to some sort of realization that she actually does want something beyond that, she does want something in a normal life or something in that vein would be really cool and might be a way to hit us with a solid emotional punch at the end of the season. I believe that this is 12 episodes. Let me check really quick. I believe it's 12, so next one would be the last one. which allows them, yeah, it's 12. So next one will be the last one, and that means we can pull it all together. We can do some humor, and then we can figure out a way to resolve this miniature but also really big emotional conflict for Kaguya. I think that's really cool. Um, moving back from there, before we get to the ramen sketch, which I think I'll talk about the most, I want to talk about maid. What's her name? Uh, Hayasaka. I don't know why I was thinking that. Hayasaka. Her section with the taking a bath. She's been sort of the stalwart maid, right? And although she has been trying to sort of push Kaguya to make stuff happen and trying to enforce her own will and get what's best for Kaguya, but she shows some of the difficulties of her job in this episode. Her need for solo time and her bath, her one way that she gets through it is, as she says, is cool and very cute and very human. Um, Instead of being kind of a paper cutout Kaguya's helper character who sometimes makes jokes and sometimes gets very serious, she shows living character kind of. I don't know if that makes sense, but she has things that she wants to do outside of just her role in the story, and I really like that. Um, and indeed, you could say that the story of Kaguya and Shirogane is something that gets in the way of Hayasaka's like life, right? It's an annoyance, and it continues to be one. So that's pretty interesting. I really like that. And then finally, let's turn our attention to the ramen sketch, which, as I said during the reaction itself, I think might be my favorite sketch of the show. Um, and it'll be hard to put a finger on exactly why, but one, Chika greatness. But more than that, the show is completely different for that section. And it demonstrates a bit of a range. So this whole section has neither of the main characters in it. It has Chika, who is technically a supporting character, I think. I would consider her a supporting character, though she's in every episode, so maybe she's a main, whatever. Um, but the entire dynamic of the show so far has been Kaguya and Shirogane, and then whoever else in the supporting cast is nearby having some kind of conflict. And in this case, there isn't really a conflict. The conflict is this random guy wondering whether Chika will be a ramen connoisseur. Um, but like the main elements that drive most of the stories forward aren't there. It's gone. It's a completely different little story as Chika comes into this ramen shop. And what I really like about it is how uh we don't start with our focus on Chika and her entrance into the ramen shop. We start with the ramen connoisseur guy who is off doing his own sort of snobby connoisseur thing and only realizes Chika's prowess later. And we see almost the entire sketch from his perspective watching Chika, and I thought that was really cool. Um, Another thing that makes me really like it is that I recently finished Isekai Shokudo, or Restaurant to Another World, which I would highly recommend you watch. It's got some goofy stuff in it, and it's got some flubs, but it is one of the most heartwarming little shows that I've seen. I binged it all in a night, and I didn't record it, and I should have, um, because I really enjoyed watching it, and it's got some really goofy animation bits, but it's also got some really great stuff and some good fun. But the whole show is about these weird characters coming into a restaurant and enjoying food there. And um, I don't know why, but this little sketch reminded me of that a little bit. Uh, the restaurant at the end to the restaurant to another world, like it's literally a restaurant whose door appears in an isekai fantasy world, and so there are all sorts who come in and learn about this restaurant, and it's been a big tradition. It's been in a family for a couple of generations, and there are these people who are regulars, and they sometimes gatekeep in the way that this ramen guy kind of gatekeeps, right? He's like, is he really good enough to eat ramen correctly? um and that's sort of cute, and thought I thought it was a good little story bit. Coming in with the expectation that Chika is a badass, right? And will end up doing it right, and she does. Uh, so we got to show off some Chika greatness. The style of that sketch was quite different. There were a number of cuts of here. Let's go to it because it'll be easier to point certain things out when they occur. A lot of face overlays of this guy. Yeah, like this. Chika putting her hair back. These little graphics to show certain stuff. It's great. And then once Chika starts digging in, we get some really strong reaction faces like this one. Nani? She's already planned ahead for the noodle swelling? Oh no! Really, really strong, really, like, way over the top with the shading. It's almost JoJo's-esque, in a way. Sort of big and bombastic with, like, these Shounen ramen kings. I don't know, it's such a funky section, and I really like the dynamic of it. It's really cool. More big, super up close reaction shots. And then of course we end it with a realization about his worth and like his age. And reminiscing about how he was when he was young and would drink all of the garlicky salty soup too. I really like this sketch. I don't know. In any case, this was a cool episode. I had a lot of fun with it. It wasn't as over the top comedy as a lot of the other ones. It feels like we're doing a lot of setup for the next episode and going to try to actually give it some emotional impact instead of just some light and fluffy comedy, which is fine by me. Because it all landed as far as I'm concerned. I feel the characters struggle and I empathize with it and want to see how it resolves. So, well done. Good episode. I think that's all I want to talk about, so I'm going to wrap it up. I've been Teeaboo. This has been Kaguya-Sama, episode 11, the penultimate episode. So, I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have, and I hope to catch you next week in the next and last episode of Kaguya-Sama. Peace.